Wouldn't you like to learn overlooked skills that are going to help your Uber Eats shop and pay orders go much smoothly? And this is especially in light of they just do take a little bit more work than the regular food delivery. I have 5 specific things that you can do right now that's going to elevate your shop and pay performance. And when I say performance, I'm talking about your earnings. That includes both base pay and your tips. This also includes your ratings. And what this is going to do, it's going to show Uber Eats and the customers that you are a valuable Uber Eats driver. The very first thing that you really must do is just send a quick message to the customer as soon as you start the order. And the reason you're going to do this primarily is to see if they're there. There may be times when you need to communicate with them. And if you know this right from the beginning, if they're there or not, that's going to help you make wise decisions. So you could just be creative and say, "Hello, my name is Russ with Uber Eats, and I am so eager to start shopping for you." And just leave it at that. Or you could say, "If you have any questions as I'm doing the order, please reach out to me." You get the idea. You just want to be really quick and to the point. The reason why you want to know if that customer is there right away is because a lot of times the orders will go smoothly. But if they don't, you need the customer's permission to make changes. And even if you pretend that you got the customer's permission, they may not actually like the changes that you make. So by knowing right up front if they're there, you're opening that line of communication. And that way, if something comes up, you can quickly reach out and let them know you need to substitute or they're out of stock. Would they like something else? The second thing you really must do is only take low item count orders. The reason for this is you want to be in and out. And as I previously mentioned, if there's any substitutions or anything that deviates from the normal order process, sometimes it's really hard to get in touch with the customer. So isn't it better to have a 1 or a 5 item count order and then only contact the customer maybe one time during that order? Or what if there's 40 items and say 30% of the items are out of stock and you're constantly talking to the customer? This is going to save you so much grief. Only take low item count orders. As an example, here's a really awesome one. And this is an alcohol delivery. So 1567, 1 item. And yeah, it's 8 miles. But I was in and out. It was a bottle of wine, and I did see that it was in the cooler, so I know that she would appreciate that it was cold. And then when I got there, she was so nice. She gave me a $15 cash tip on top of the $15 order. So I pretty much made $30, and I don't know the exact amount of time, but let's say it took 30 minutes. That was a great order. 1 item, in and out. I also had a Walgreens order. That one started off at 11:10, 1 item, 7.8 miles. That's quite a bit of miles, but it was slow. And then right away, I got an add-on order to the same store, 5:38, again, 1 item, and it was half a mile away. So now we're looking at roughly $16 for 2 items. It was tape and a bottle of diet soda. So I already know where to go. It's 1 item. I went in and grabbed both and then checked out. And the first drop off was close by. The second one was further away. That was pretty quick and easy. If I had the first order and say it was 20 items and then an add-on came in for 10, now that's a lot more work and a lot more time in the store. So trust me, I've done this quite a few times. Save yourself the grief and just accept low item count orders. If you want to be proficient at that and then try and see how it is with a ton of stuff in one cart, give it a try then, but don't try that right away or you're pretty much going to get demoralized. So speaking of that massive order, if you don't mind, please share in the comments right now. For those of you that have done shop and pay orders, what's the most amount of items that you've done? And please share, how did you feel about this? How did it go overall? And this is going to help all of us drivers, based on your feedback, decide if taking a lot of items is worth it or not. Or who knows, maybe it's a great thing. So please share. I think that's really going to help all the drivers. Thanks for doing that. The third thing you really must do, know the store layout. And the way you can do this is when you're not working, go in the store and just spend time going up and down every aisle. That way you're going to know where things are. And through experience, you're going to get even faster. If you're a new shopper and you have no idea where to go, you're going to waste a lot of time, or spend a lot of time trying to find an item. In the beginning, you're going to have to ask the workers, where's this? Where's that? They're going to get tired of you after a while. So do this on your own time, and then you can be fast. When you take those low item count orders, you go right in, you know where it is, and you get it. A side benefit, it is hot here in California, and so you get the benefit of free air conditioning and also free restroom access. So by you knowing the store layout, let's say you've just finished another order and you have to use the restroom. You already know, go in and go to the right. Put your cart there, use the bathroom, then continue shopping for your order. So in a way, you're getting paid to take a break, but you're really fast because you're not wasting time wondering where everything is. I think you can see the value in this. Now, let's say you don't have the time to go when you're not working. When you're on an order, pay attention. Don't just try to find that item and then forget everything thinking I'm never coming back. The fourth thing that seriously you gotta do, pick the freshest produce. Pick items that are not dented or damaged. You need to do this for the customer. They're gonna be consuming this food, so you wanna pick the very best quality that you can find. If you don't do this, right off the bat, you're going to have negative reviews. Your tips are going to get taken away. And overall, you're giving the customer a bad experience, and we're not representing UberEats well. And it's such an easy thing to turn around. Right from the beginning, think if you would want to eat something and pick out the very best. When you're communicating with the customer, when you're picking the very best produce, when you're contacting them, obviously, as little as possible because you're not going to do a massive order. All these touch points with the customer are going to show that you care. And then when the customer gets their order and they see that you lovingly picked out the very best produce because it's something that you would want to give your children, they're going to appreciate you. You're going to get good ratings and also good tips. And finally, just talking about how long it takes to do a good job. There's not a big difference between a good job and a superior job. So why not put that extra effort in and just show the customer how much you care about them? It's the right thing to do. We're working for them. They're going to pay us and we'll get good ratings out of it. Overall, you should have a great experience when you're out working and share that with the customers. You want them to have a great experience. All right, number 5, you need to watch the miles that you put on your car. So in the beginning, I talk about low item count orders. Along with that, you need to look at the distance that you're driving. The further you go, that's more wear and tear on your car. And maybe it's worth it depending on the money. The bigger consideration is, are there restaurants and stores wherever the drop-off is, even if it's far away, that you can get more orders? Pay close attention to that, because if you're in an area where there's no restaurants where you're dropping off, now you're going to have all those dead miles when you come home. So that great seeming offer maybe wasn't such a good deal when you're actually doubling your mileage to get back to your market where you can get more orders. When you're just starting out doing Uber Eats food delivery, most drivers, I think, maybe pay attention to wear and tear on the car, but mostly we're probably just focused on gas. But over time, especially if you have an older vehicle, it's going to start breaking. So even for experienced drivers, we can get complacent and justify things, which I do sometimes. When it's slow, maybe I'm not going to be so strict on which orders I take because I want to earn some money. But overall, this car and your car is not going to last forever. So wear and tear is such a serious consideration. I fully trust that you see the value in these 5 really overlooked things. But what if you haven't even done a shop and pay order yet? I have good news for you. I've made a video teaching you how to get set up doing those orders, how to actually do the orders, showing you the payment process, everything all the way through drop off. So this is going to help you pairing these 5 tips And then when you watch that video next, you're going to learn how to do a shop and pay order. They are valuable. So watch that next, and I'll see you there.